And welcome back. Well, May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and while we'll do anything to protect our kids, it's important that they learn the lessons to protect themselves from the harmful rays of the sun. Here to tell us about a special Protect What Matters campaign by Coppertone in partnership with 4-H is dermatologist Dr. Elizabeth Hale, along with 4-H Youth Spokesperson Lucy Hutchinson. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us. I just had a best friend who was diagnosed with melanoma, and I think it's important that we start early and we start often applying our sunscreen. So talk a little bit about this partnership between Coppertone and 4-H and the importance of it.
So I'm sorry to hear about your friend. Hopefully her melanoma was caught early. And I think why I've partnered up, I'm a dermatologist in New York City, and I specialize in skin cancer and sun damage. But for me, this seemed like a really exciting way to help educate our children and our youth, because as a dermatologist, especially specializing in these things, every day I hear patients tell me, I wish I wore more sunscreen when I was younger, or I wish I didn't get those sunburns. I wish I didn't go to tanning beds. And really, we can make a great impact by educating and empowering our children and our youths and our adolescents, because overexposure to the sun during this time really can have negative effects later in life. So I've partnered with Coppertone and with 4-H, which is a leading national youth development organization, to try to educate and empower our children and really get them involved in protecting their skin. Much like as parents, we teach our children to brush their teeth and to wear helmets when they go bike riding or when they go skiing. They really should think about applying sunscreen and trying to make a difference early on in life, because that can really have great impact later as they grow up.
Absolutely. And for you, Lucy, being a part of 4-H, you've been with it for what, 13 years, and your goal then is to become a dermatologist. What do you say to kids out there? I think you're a much smarter generation.
So I think that this is a great way for the youth of today to really be the leaders of today, because as we see, 4-Hers are such great leaders within not only their clubs, but within their schools and their families. And this just, along with everything else that 4-H does, it really just gives them the resources to make those differences, because 4-Hers want to be a part of this conversation, and this gives them the tool set and the resources to really be the catalyst for this change, to make these sun protection practices a part of their everyday lives. So 4-Hers were able to partake in different events such as the Sun Smarts Challenge, where they could submit creative ideas on how to make this a realistic and a fun and everyday practice to apply sunscreen and to reapply sunscreen and to just be safe in the sun. So they were challenged to use those leadership and creative thinking skills that they're learning in 4-H to really make a difference.
I love that. And I think the best way for kids is to inspire other kids and teens and, you know, so on and so forth. Dr. Hale, my friend did catch it early because she goes to her dermatologist. So for you, what do you tell people are some sunscreen tips that you have and ways to stay safe?
So I'm really glad to hear that about your friend. You know, skin cancer is so common, but it's also one of the most preventable cancers, and it's often always curable when it's caught early. So glad to hear that. I think, you know, teaching our children while they're young to think about sunscreen every day, like we've talked about, but a broad spectrum SPF 30 or higher. And if they are going to be outside enjoying summer activities or at the beach or the pool, they really want to remember to reapply their sunscreen every 2 hours. But in addition to that, I think it's important to try to change the behavior. We shouldn't teach our children to learn to seek a tan. We really want to help them engage in healthy outdoor activity, but by protecting their skin. So in addition to sunscreen, staying in the shade when possible, keeping sun protective clothing, hats, sunglasses, all of these things really make a difference. So we want them outdoors, we want them enjoying the warm weather, but just to do it safely so that they can protect themselves from damage later in life.
I love that. I heard a great quote, and it was basically someone said, think of a tan as almost like your skin scarring because it's trying to heal itself. So where can we go for more information?
So if you go to 4-H.org/sunsmarts, there's more information about this campaign, as well as a sun protection guide that Dr. Hale has helped to create so that kids and families have more information on how to implement these sun protection practices.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.